New Eden. An anomaly even within the data break network. Ever since the dawn of aviation, mankind has looked to the skies with hopeful expectation of conquering the stars. Beyond the remnants of the shattered gate, a universe of impossible splendor lies among an endless sea of stars. These are the sounds of the cosmos, the sounds that echo through every corner of the universe. This is New Eden FM. For your show, your weekly update on all things of online and eve echoes. And here are your hosts, Maestra, Alundria, and Rosalind Lou Spy.
Hello friends and welcome to a fresh new episode of New Eden FM, your music, your voice, and your weekly update on all things Eve. No matter how you do what you do, whether it's rock hugging or putting holes in the hull of an enemy ship, we have the information to keep you up to date on all Eve things, and of course music to keep you firmly in step, even if you're actually stepping in goo. Welcome to Eve, the only place where stepping in goo is a positive thing, right? This is Maestra in the studio with me, I believe the original Alundria.
I am the original today, that's right. How you doing?
Wait, you weren't the original last week? Does that mean you lied to me?
No, I was original last week too, but when you didn't ask me 1 week, I snuck an unoriginal in.
I don't know how I can trust you anymore.
You always gotta ask, that's the best way to do it.
And of course, my BFF, Latara. What's up?
Yo! How much is up? Just ratting, because Mel made me do it.
Yeah, I heard about that. I kind of happened to check out the pings while I was out at the club last night, and I saw that that you were running a fleet, and the quote is, "Because Mel is making me do it." It's absolutely priceless.
Yeah, I mean, it's been painful, but the last day of ratting is today, so
Yeah.
to battle tomorrow.
I mean, yeah. Well, we are going to do stuff before tomorrow, but that's another subject for another time. And of course, today's remote location, I believe it's Pator 9 as usual. I'm making my way there late because I run on laid back Luke time. Eve news, lots of stuff to cover. We have got the anniversary event that is coming up. This weird thing that they have people spending $50 or something to register their corporation, only to maybe get in, maybe not get in. I'm not sure about that whole thing. Of course, the Content Creators Corner, always great to take a look at what our content creators are presently doing. And of course, we have the state of the war. How's the I believe the forward deployment going into silent space, and of course, as sad as it is to see Terran Federation go, apparently that is a thing. But anyway, we'll cover that a little bit later. Right now in the mix, one of my favorite bands and fellow pirate lovers. This is Clocks by Visions of Atlantis. Turn it up, check it out. And welcome to New Eden News. And we've gotten some kind of interesting things over the past few days, am I right? Last week, we did in fact get a patch. And I can't really be too mad at them. They are in fact adding content. And it's pretty good content. I mean, I'm going to get to the part about this thing that people are registering for like 1,000 AUR in a moment. and only certain corporations can take part, as well as a tweet that went out earlier today, and it absolutely amazed me. They made the statement, and I quote, "What are you most excited for about the anniversary event?" But they haven't really told us like what's going to be in the anniversary event. And one guy, a medical doctor actually, retweeted along with a comment saying, uh, here's hoping that, hold on a second, let me pull up the comment because it was hilarious. So this doctor says, decent Concord pass course for all ships, including and not limited to caps. Rorqual and Orca, please keep away from RNG boxes. Isks or skins and cosmetics for real money is fine though. Wow. It only took a PhD to tell them how to run an event, and they probably still won't listen.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's kind of scary if I'm telling the complete and total truth, but that's fine. So the opening ceremony started up on last week, and to be honest, there isn't a whole lot of information. You can't really find very much information on this opening ceremony. I mean, they're just telling people, spend money, get 1,000 AUR, and try to register your corporation for this event. And if you are not eligible for this event for one reason or another, they've said that they will refund you. The thing is, they will refund the AUR. They're not going to refund your money. So you spend $50, and maybe your corporation gets to take part, and maybe they don't. And if not, the way I'm reading this is that they will give you back the AUR, but they won't give you back your actual money. So they get to keep your money one way or another. I mean, you can look at it the way that you want to, but it's kind of weird, right? So,
Well, they also have Omega requirements. In order for your corp to even qualify, a certain percentage of your corporation has to be giving them money.
yeah, pretty much. You have to have some kind of Omega. Fortunately, they didn't say that it had to be dual Omega, so, I mean, at least it's only Omega, right? They are making a little bit of money or something. They're not, just going, hey guys, you're just not going to be able to take part or whatever and stuff. It's like, okay, so you need to have Omega, but I don't really understand the logic. Like, I cannot say that I agree with us having an event that comes in the game that corporations can take part in, and you have to pay for those events. I don't agree with it, period, like at all. However, I did, for my corporation, I don't know about the other CEOs out there, but my people are worth it. So I was going to fork over the $50 so my corp could enjoy the content. And
keep in mind, you can do it for 40. If you get 2 of the 19.99, that gives you 1,050 AUR. It costs 1,000 for it, so you don't have to get the 49.99 pack.
That's true.
You can get 2 of the 19.99 pack.
Very, very true, and thank you for that, for bringing that up. I was gonna do it, right? And I think that both Latara and Tama asked, like, hey, are we gonna do this? And I was about to do it, but I went to look for information on what was gonna be of the event to see if I wanted to just, register the corporation. And at worst, I mean, I know I'm not going to get the 40 or $50 back, but I'll have the AUR. I'll just blow it on some Plex or buy some Omega time or something, right? I mean, it's fine. But there was no information on exactly what they were going to give us. So they launched this. This was on the 20th. On the 21st, they make a post saying, in New Eden, a reconstruction of the first Stargate linking Amar and Hindi, or Hedon, marked the end of the long dark ages. It has been 2,070 years since that date, and voyage ceremony will be held in memory of the historic event. So that's the lore behind that whole thing. Infinite amount of stars put into perspective how small pilots are, yet greatness exists within them. Sail away to the stars, to the battlefield. You have the blessings of all. So they got into a little bit of detail, and as we covered, here they are. If you intend to register for Voyage of Ceremony, please make sure that your corporation meets the following requirements. Has to be a CEO or a director, having Omega Clone activated, be over 30% of your corporation members have to have Omega Clone activated, rounding down, established for more than 30 days ago, over 30 active members. Um, the top three corporations in the previous inscription of the galaxy rankings will be invited to participate. If they refuse to participate or do not meet the participation requirements, they will not be included in the ranking. The corporation invited in this way must meet the following conditions. The CEO, it's pretty much the exact same thing, right? But they need over 50 active members in the past 30 days. Please note that the fee is, of course, 1,000 AUR, and will be fully refunded. The registration is unsuccessful, and the deadlines for the registration is going to be on next week, the 28th. That would be Thursday next week. So if you're trying to do these things, then yeah, that's what you have to look forward to. Pilots who join the voyage ceremony will receive a special commemorative medal after the event. In addition, corporation banners that participated in the event will be permanently documented on voyage ceremonial memory architecture. Every pilot visiting the universe will read the interspace epic poem written by the pioneers of the event. Okay. Okay. Please, Alondria, take this one because I don't know what to say.
Yeah, this is a mysterious money grab. That's what this is.
I mean, I'm kind of getting used to it at this point. It's like, I mean, what are you gonna do, right?
I know it's net tease. This is really a tease event too, because they say give us money, teasing us that there's going to be something cool, but they don't tell us what it is.
They've done
I don't mind it. I mean, it's all optional, right? I mean, you can either do it for your board members or not. I mean, I did it for mine.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't be making money, obviously, but I would just appreciate like a little less mystery in their money grab.
It's true.
You know?
It would be nice.
If you go to the events page, there's a little description of what they're offering. Like a little bubble. I don't know if you can see it, but it's not much.
I know.
It's like 30,000 skill points, 120,000 Lazarus points, and a medal.
Yeah,
or maybe that's the basic prize. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know, and also the description doesn't match what they're offering because it also includes rigs in the description. However, the little thing where it has it, there's no rigs up there. So is all of the prizes listed, or is that just the guaranteed prize and you randomly get something else? Who knows? Nobody knows until it comes out because they don't tell us.
And by the time it comes out, you'll already have either spent your money or not spent your money. So it's kind of weird.
Exactly.
I don't like it myself. And I know that this is a mobile game, right? But, when it comes to anniversary events, you'd think that they'd be more inclusive of like everyone. The people who spend money, the whales, and the people who are not whales. Yeah, I don't know. But, it would be nice, right? So, as far as the patch was concerned, on last week, we got new content, the Rescue Laboratory series of missions. Now, those are missions that you can do in high sec, low sec, and null sec, and one of our members did, in fact, get one of these missions. We went to try it out, and I gotta tell you, they hit pretty hard in there. I had a Logi, and I still had to warp out my Balgorn. So it does feel like if you're in nullsec, the safest way to handle this is the same way we handle FPSs. But can you handle it in a subcap fleet? Absolutely. And it's pretty good content. I mean, there are elites in there. So guys, if you have not done this content and you're thinking that because you have a faction battleship, you can just YOLO in there and it'll be fine, there are elites in there. They will scram you. They are very fast, and they can do a surprising amount of damage to your ship. And I believe that final wave had like 30-something mobs in it. So you want to be very careful if you're going to try to tackle this.
It's comparable to a T10 base, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's just making sure that people don't YOLO in there. And I'm sure that a few people have lost faction battleships because in the description they were like, so yeah, you can do this. You know, it's recommended to pilot an advanced battleship or a carrier into the mission location. So it's assumed that they're saying, okay, well, let's pilot in um, maybe a Balgorn or something in there, and I'll be fine. No, you won't be fine. You will get destroyed. My Balgorn is tanked out, like tanked out, and the damage was pretty. It was pretty insane. Even if I had been 100% full tank, which I'm only one module off, I would have gotten ripped a new one if I didn't have an armor logi or grid. It was insane. So,
And here's me. I found I could solo them.
suck an egg.
What are you soloing, man?
You can
Is sniper rogue.
I mean, well, that's a little different, right? I guess you can snipe them. I guess you can snipe them. That's fine. So, what do you get out of doing these? You get Type 4 rigs. Type 4 rigs.
No. You get the materials to reverse engineer Type 4 rigs.
Oh my. They just made it extra work, didn't they? Didn't at the beginning of the game we find T4 rig blueprints in boxes? Wasn't that a
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, there's some people who had like a few T4 rigs, and I think that's what's majority of what's sitting on the market right now. I mean, I saw a T4 Warp Core Optimizer selling for 5 billion on the market, and like, yeah,
It is.
that's just ridiculous.
Well, it is.
Is it 5 points of stab?
4 points.
Well,
4 points?
they go into detail about how this whole thing is created, and it does have extensive requirements. Type 3, 1 and 2 blueprints, rigging experimental data, which I believe is the material that you get from doing these special missions. Talk about a real grind. It was the same thing with the Type A, B, X modules. It is a very it's a very long grind, and I mean, with the Dead Space gear, it's a gamble, but I guess that's fine. It's just, I don't know. But there is a rig unfitting service now, so if you really want to save your rig like super badly, then you can spend a pretty fat amount of ISK to pull them off.
It only works for integrated, though, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
Only integrated rigs.
Correct. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. And yeah, Nathan Explosion says, I think the T4 rig stuff is nice. Give me a second. Just gonna like jump over to the comment. It is good consumption, but the finished rig is silly. But that's Evecos. I mean, I don't agree with everything that they're doing as far as all those things are concerned. It's just a little bit. It's a little bit painful. Yeah, we are probably going to get attacked by NPCs, Charizard, but I mean, that might make things fun. Just make sure that you're in there in something that is not a Scepter Hall, like what I'm currently on grid, hugging the Boar Queen in. And I'll give you a full list of what music we had during that segment. Yeah, no, today's feels like a hard rock and metal day. But yeah, so there's also some limited time items that are on the store. Sorry?
Roz posted a picture of the integrated rig extraction in the Sound of Us, so you can see the process.
Oh my goodness, I'll take a look at it a little bit later on. So yeah, experiment secret trafficking container contains unknown rigging experiment data. So it's a new item to arrive, and that's between the 20th and the 31st. So, I mean, that's something that's on the store. There's some balance adjustments concerning the rocket fuel cache patron. That's for capital ship classes, hydraulic bay thrusters for the capital ship classes, and the drone range extender that got changed, and the fighter range extender. So you're looking at optimal and fall off range, respectively, on those two changes. Yeah, it was a pretty nice patch. I'm not gonna lie, it's great to see more content. You're just gonna be grinding that content a lot. So don't think that it's one of those like one and done
Yeah.
type things. You're gonna be grinding this content a lot. Getting into the weekly developer Q&A, because we did have quite a bit of stuff that's been going on this week to go through. The question number one was tag level 3 or 4. These have no use and they just pile up. Maybe at least let us reprocess them or combine prototype rigs to create regular rigs. The same goes for the modified ones. Okay. The answer: in the future, we will consider allowing the reprocessing of prototype rigs and using them to build the integrated rigs repair device. Test modules can be upgraded into more advanced modules through reverse engineering. They can? I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that. I'm going to try that, though. It should be fun. Okay, cool.
No, I think it's something they're planning on adding, not something that's currently in the game.
Oh, it's not in the game yet. Okay, rep. I was getting excited for a minute. Like, oh wait, I can do this? I can jump in the game right now and I can actually do it? What a wonderful world. Question number 2. Are there any plans to allow mining drones to be buffed by the mining form and burst modules? I can already tell you that's a hard no, but I'll read the question anyway. As with the incoming of more and more Rorquals, the Orca is becoming a redundant and useless ship and cannot compete with even a Covetor 2. It's not supposed to, but I mean, we covered that a few weeks ago, didn't we? The answer to that is there is no plans for this for the time being. The Orca is currently a non-capital mining command ship, and its mining capabilities will not be as strong. I mean, I'm glad that they actually did say that, because people really don't understand what the place is and what the use is for the Orca. I don't think that they understand what the Orca's purpose is. The Orca's purpose is to buff the other mining ships so that if you have a fleet of Covetors, they mine more ore. And it's unfortunate that they completely snatched away the Orca's ability to compress ore, because this is what made them super worth it to have on grid in EVE Online, and still does. Granted, no one uses Orcas in EVE Online in nullsec. They're used specifically in high and low sec, because according to the members of PanFam, they make good kill mills. This is what my colleagues told me when I asked about it. It's like, oh no, they're great kill mills, but yeah, we don't use them. So most people just stick to using the porpoise, and they just go straight to the Rorqual, because that's the way that they work. And the ships, the ships, the way that the progression is set in that game, you go from the Orca to the Rorqual anyway, so you're going to need the skills no matter what. And it's kind of nice. Unfortunately for all these Orca pilots who invested thinking that, oh hey, I'm going to be an Orca pilot and I should be able to mine more than a Covetor 2. Guys, that's not what the Orca is there for. It never was there for those reasons. I feel bad for you. I feel really bad for you, but it's just not what that's not what it's there for. It's just not. The third question is, Eve Echo should really keep on with the promotional story missions that help us to make a little bit of ISK more faster. Hope y'all keep it up. In terms of rewards, the current storyline missions fit well with the high risk, high reward positioning. When there are more New Eden stories to be presented in the future, we'll consider introducing more storyline missions. Okay. Question number 3. I believe actually it's 4. They answered 6 this week. Could you please add a feature allowing corporations to insure ship losses themselves in a similar way to how Corps can fund Corp Omega? I feel like it's an important feature, as when commencing in PvP, we do not incur a loss from our own IP or our member stones. As it is a Corp-owned ship, the Corp is willing to compensate the ship. That's a great question. We hope that the insurance can be used on personal assets, and IP cannot be circulated within the corporation. It's recommended that members use corporation missions to claim compensation from the Corp, which essentially still pretty much just is. I don't know. It would have been a nice system, but but okay. Question 5. Is there the possibility to add market statistics for other players to use? Not only ship prices, but the amount sold. What prices can greatly help people in the market to determine high value investment rather than resorting to player based knowledge or guessing? Oh my gosh, I wish. EVE Online has this and it's so glorious. They have it with uh, you know, with like statistics and stuff. It is wonderful. There is no plan for adding these in the short term. This is actually an interesting feature, but only a small number of players need to use it regularly. Our current development plan prioritizes features that will help most players. Okay, so just give me a moment here. How many people would actually benefit from having more market data?
Everybody.
But they say it's only a small number of players need to use this regularly.
They don't understand. They don't understand their player.
Do they are they? Oh my gosh.
I know.
You mean
it's a head scratcher.
we're playing a game that has come from a game that is prided for its outstanding market, and you mean to tell me that this is something only a small group of, you're saying only a small group of players could take advantage of having this in place? That is what they're saying, in the reason why they're not gonna. All right, I'm a little okay. Are there any plans to add exploration missions to Concord Pass soon? It's tedious for pilots who are dedicated to exploring, since they need to mine or rat to increase the pass. There is a corresponding plan, but it will not be released in the short term because we are trying to find a better way to calculate the work of exploring. Exploring, guys, is not really worth it in EVE Echoes. For those of you that really want to do it, I encourage you to keep doing it, and it's great, it's fine, it's fantastic, right? And more power to you. But I will tell you that one of our directors in Bell went out exploring, spent 3.5 hours exploring, and came back with roughly 30 million maybe in total loot. Kept finding nothing but condensed belts, which he couldn't do anything with, and basically got frustrated and just like dumped all the skill points and just put them in something else. I'm sorry for you explorers out there, but not the place for you to do exploring. Not the place for you to do exploration. It doesn't work. It doesn't work here. It's not profitable enough. I mean,
That's sad.
it's not profitable.
It really is.
It's not
Yeah,
profitable.
but they put a whole thing in the game, and it's not really. People can't really do much with it.
I mean, it really is just disappointing to hear responses like, having market statistics will only benefit a small group of players. Meanwhile, the price on materials is way down. Like literally, we're at an all-time low for material prices on the marketplace. We would love to be able to calculate our costs, just say, well, it'll be whatever the value of the materials is plus whatever the click costs are, and so on and so forth. But the materials costs are so bad that trying to offer something like 25% off of the cost of us building it, it's like how much you're not really making it. It's just bad. Economics is really bad, and these guys are literally saying, people don't need market systems, people don't need to be able to export numbers, people don't need these things. It's going to be a small group of players who are going to enjoy this. Apparently, a small group of players would also enjoy making their ore more valuable, or having balance where the click cost doesn't exceed the material worth of these build projects when you're doing an indie project. Because, never mind, I mean, industry doesn't have to be profitable. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, it shouldn't be 75% of the cost to build something is just the click cost. That shouldn't be the case. It should be, because, 75% click cost, 25% material cost is what we have right now. It should be 75% material cost, 25% click cost. That should be the ratio or something like that. What we have now is just crazy.
that's the part that's just like killing me. And, it just really is killing me because what you're actually doing when you do things like that, you're telling people who are mining and who want to be miners that their time is not valuable. It's not as valuable as the people who want to get out there and rat. That's essentially the message that they're sending. Oh, your time isn't that valuable. It's okay. I'm just like
I would classify this as industrial penetration.
industrial penetration. I mean, I'm
Uh-huh.
I'm finished. I'm finished, girl. Like I try to read these, and I sometimes try to at least seem like I'm being unbiased, but I'll be honest. Like reading some of these responses, it makes me mad, man. Like, guys, wow, you're killing me. I don't know what they're doing, but it's okay. I'm gonna go over to the content creators corner because that is going to make me happy. And in the meantime, um, since today seems like a very rock day and people are enjoying it, in the mix right now, this is Sky Dweller by Rave the Requiem. Turn it up, check it out.
Welcome to the Content Creators Corner featuring Eden's best and brightest on New Eden FM.
And welcome to the Content Creators Corner, where we shine a spotlight on our favorite content creators, whether they're official or not official. Because, I mean, who's counting at this point, right? In the studio today, we have two content creators. My favorite content creator, and then there's that other guy. I paused there for a moment. So
obviously, today we have been joined by the epic Sheev, who's been feuding, and we'll go into that in a little bit of detail.
I'm not muted anymore.
You're not muted, but
yeah. And then we have the totally awesome Vetamune, whom I have had the pleasure of spending more time with than I expected this past week. It's all been fun. Yeah, thumbs up.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out, buddy. I really appreciate that, and it really has been fun just getting to actually talk.
Thanks for having me.
So before we get to onto Vetamune's content, and he does make a lot of it, whether it's recorded or not. She please, what is this thing? I hear you have some kind of feud going on with another content creator.
Yeah. Well, first off, some people are calling it a beef. But yeah, it's fun. But in my opinion, it's actually not a beef. Though virtual RPGs see it differently, I think. It started with me flying around doing PvP as I do, as we all do. And I am 99% solo player due to my lack of extended period of gameplay due to my kids. So one day I accidentally, like 3 days ago, I saw virtual at a gate camp, and I of course went for it. And I made a video of it from my point of view, called, I don't know, a virtual RPG versus Sheev Palpatine. And he didn't like it. So that's kind of where the beef started. But yeah, of course I went back to the gate camp the day after. I built a ship just for the sole purpose to eliminate him and his people. And he was there. So I told myself, this is perfect. Let's see how it goes. And but that time he actually dropped 3 Balgorns and a capital on me. So 7 people total. And kind of a fun fact was that they didn't do anything until all 7 was on grid. They just, looked at me and just tanked me. And they kept saying that his Balgorn could take me alone. And I saw it as a challenge. So I made a video once again, like how I saw it, and I called that one Virtual RPG Disappointed Me, and here we are today.
yeah, I mean, I've been reaching out to Mug themselves to try and get them to come on, because I think they're probably one of the more true to the pirate life corporations in this game. And from what I can gather from speaking to them, they're very much of the opinion, yeah, I could probably take you on my own, but why take the risk?
Very true.
I've got friends who will come, and I can understand it. Like, I know Virtual's fits are like usually A types, like it's nuts.
I have no problem with it either. I was at their Discord actually. I got invited, and I talked to a couple of them. And I would say 50% understood that it wasn't like I didn't have anything negative towards them. I just saw them and I went for it as I always do. But I had no idea that people disliked them before, so they kind of took it negative. But yeah, I tried to talk to Virtual as well, but I just got like hate back every time I said something good, and he just gave me something bad. So yeah, I kind of gave up on it.
Ooh, but are you gonna stop and before you get a kill mail on Virtual, or are you calling it a day at this point?
You know, I never give up. I never give up, man. Yeah, it's nothing personal. It's just like I don't know how good he is, and I haven't killed him. And you know, I saw him, and of course he's a CC. You know, I would do the same if I saw Benzi. You know, I would hunt him. I would try to get him. You know, but
I tried to get Benzi. When Voight was evacuating during the Contact Coalition War, I saw Benzi in local, but I wasn't in the right ship. I was gonna try to kill him. I was gonna try.
You can try. Even in the wrong ship, you can try. Yeah, but I'm not sure. I don't know how I do it. I might leave it alone for a bit, or not. You know, it's the way I am. They play their way. You know, they have this safe gate camp, and they don't want to lose money. I get it. This is the very good way for them to just hold their system. I see nothing wrong with it. It was just like my feelings for what I would like to achieve got wrecked, right? And I kind of was hoping that maybe he wanna take on me, maybe like him and two others at least or something, if he's so secure that he would win. But yeah, he'd rather be extremely safe. And yeah, so it's two different type of PvP players who see it differently.
There's very much like very many different ways to actually play. So
yeah,
it's one of those. I think everyone's going to have their own preferred playstyle, so it's not really for anyone to judge anyone else, right?
No. I mean, I'm not judging. I think they did right. You know, I said it in my video, like, they did the right thing, because if they didn't, he would probably end up dead. So, he was smart.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, though.
I'm not sure either, but, you know, I've been calculating, I've been crunching the numbers on my Vindicator, so, but we never know.
We'll pull all of Bell's funds together, and we'll put together a PGE fit Balgorn, give it to Mackenzie, and she can.
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
We could try it. That would be actually awesome.
Yeah, I would eat a Balgorn. I wouldn't eat my only Balgorn, but yeah, I'd definitely eat a Balgorn. I need to check to see how much those things are running for on the market these days. That way I can buy a Balgorn with the intention of eating it around space.
Yeah, but then Kenzie, we would also need to buy all the A types for it to make sure it's a proper virtual PGE fit.
I'm not sure if he has A type every time. Does he? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the way I see the game is that it doesn't, like, of course the Balgorn is a superior ship overall in PvP. I do really think that, but I can't get over the feeling that, you know, I have a Vindicator and that is impossible. I just don't like that feeling, so I have to. You can build the ships differently, and that's kind of what I do. That's what's fun with the game.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I like to throw battleships around and see what happens myself.
Yeah.
So moving on here a little bit, we're talking about some very, very expensive PvP. And we're joined today by a wonderful content creator, Vetamune, who I think most of his videos are done in a 38 to 39 million Stabber Fleet issue.
Yep, that is the price tag.
Like that ship, for how much it's cost you, that thing does work. And I know you've been flying that ship for pretty much since you hit T5, T6.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So what is it about the Stabber Fleet that just sort of draws you in then?
Oh, I can go all day about it, but the key factors mostly are the speed of the ship, and it does have the highest scan resolution of any other T6 cruiser. So factoring those two things together, I kind of put in my rig slots, put in my defense rigs, and I have this boat pretty much that can compete with the speed of poorly skilled interceptors and in some cases high tier destroyers.
Yeah, and I've seen you do some stupid things with that ship outside of your content, but I mean, I think you're one of the few content creators outside of Benzie that Void has. Like, what drew you to that? Was it just starting to record and seeing what you could do with it?
Yeah, a lot of people had first-hand experience how I flew the ship, and they just constantly watched my Kill Mel's Flood Alliance chat every day. So I had a lot of them saying to me that they would love to see me, record videos and post it online YouTube. So originally it started as something fun and just for Void pretty much to show them exactly how it's done and what I do. And then 100 people, 200 people watching my channel suddenly turns to 1,000, 1,500, and I'm like, oh. Changed a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's good content, it's good PvP, it's entertaining, and I've definitely learned some tricks from watching your videos.
Yeah, I do love, some people in this game, they love to have the most expensive of all fits and test it out and do absolute God's work with those fits and ships. With me, on the other hand, I like to take the cheapest one and just see what it does. I just love the fact that it doesn't really matter how expensive your ship is. A good pilot with a good fit with a good ship that knows what he's doing can still take you out.
Yeah, I think you've definitely proved that many times. I believe you've was it you soloed a Stratios in one of your videos, or was it small gang does Stratios with ships about the same value as yours?
Yeah, one of my videos I soloed the Stratios. So actually, that Stratios killed me, I think, a week earlier with a small gang, and I made sure to remember the name. So when I came back in that system at the exact time.
I think we just lost Vetamune there for a second.
Sorry about that. So I made sure to remember the exact time that I die and the exact day. So when I came back a week later, I went to a mining belt, found a miner, locked the miner down, and I was just waiting for the Stratios. I saw him decloak, so I immediately took everything off and killed him. Yeah, I was screaming in joy. I had people in my comms, and I was just jumping out of my chair.
Yeah, I've been there in the past where you've been absolutely having the time of your life in PvP, either solo or with one other guy, and seriously, guys, the glee you will hear in this guy's voice when he gets the chance to fight a gang of frigates in a stabber, you wouldn't believe it.
Oh man, I love it so much. To be honest, I had, a silent member had a interceptor that actually soloed me. And it humbled me and shocked me to the core. It was at 30-40% hull. I was a bit of an idiot. I did kind of take a poor engagement with this duel. I worked in at 0. I knew I shouldn't have, but I was, just a cocky bastard.
It's all right. Sometimes you need humbling, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. And he killed me, and I'm not the type of player to like get upset about it. I actually did parade the lost mail to I think the majority of Silent Space. I think I said like this guy needs a raise.
Like Vetimune, he's vicious on the grid. The gentleman, DMs.
Always has been.
Thank you. Appreciate the compliment.
So how did you find your style when it came to presenting your videos? I mean, I think you've pretty much remained pretty consistent the whole time you've been making videos. So what led you to that?
I had no experience whatsoever. I had no idea what I'm doing, especially my very first video. So I did requested feedback through Reddit. And, I fixed a few of the things, but I kept the general playstyle of the video. I'm pretty much, I don't really know how to do, like, advanced transitions or anything like that. Pretty simple in that regard. So it's pretty much just a montage of me just killing ships and having some funny memes, having some funny stuff going on in it. And, I kind of like it. It's a little bit of work for me, but I think it looks alright in that regard.
It's one of those. It's bare bones, but I mean, you don't want too much going on, right? You want to focus on the PvP, and that's what the videos are for. The inclusion of the random memes that pop up, like relating to like either something someone said in local or like a ridiculous kill mail you actually managed to get. Like that shit has me cracking up every time.
Yeah, I think the most fun I have is when someone trash talk me in local. And then, like, I do have my moments where it does get me upset a little bit, but for most of the time, I just think it's hilarious. Especially, like, putting some memes around it and just having a little bit of fun with it. Because at the end of the day, it's just a game that, we're all playing to have fun. It's not to take anything serious.
Yeah, I mean, I think too many people take a loss badly, and to be honest, I just don't understand why. I mean, when you undock, you consent to PvP and leave. That's pretty much the way it goes.
Yeah, like, I lost Cinnables, I lost a lot of stuff during, my gaming in EVE, and I don't really get upset about it.
Yeah, I mean, didn't you lose a B-type Cinnable at one point? Like,
yeah, T-Cost with the nasty logon trap. Shout out to T-Cost. They had, an interceptor with a medium MWD that just orbited at like 60, 70 kilometers. He had a Dark Hail Nanocore. And for the life of me, I could not catch him. And then battleships landed on Grim. I was like, well, it's over.
Because that's the other thing you guys have noticed about Vetimune is if he's tackled and can't kill what's tackling him, he's done. Vetimune, what's your opinion on warp core stabs?
It's probably not a PG-13 related.
Doesn't have to be. I mean, there's a reason why we don't put this show on commercial radio.
No, it's just I know that one's something that needles you a little bit, so I had to bring it up.
Yeah, that's the only thing in this game that really gets to me.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of sort of the get out of jail free card for most pilots, unless you are in a really, really, really good interceptor with one of those cores that can boost your warp scram strength substantially. I mean, you're probably going to lose a lot of targets, just how it is.
Oh, well, Sheev says that he brought up all the warp core stabs to help the pirate, so go Sheev.
Oof, too bad. You guys are screwed, man. You heard it first here on New Eden FM. You guys are screwed. You're screwed. We're coming for you. But I believe that both of you guys are amazing content creators. We need to have you on the show a lot more often, especially you, Vitamin. I know you're busy and stuff, but no, we love you here, and we want to have you on the show more often. And Sheeved, I know it's something that's been a thing of conversation. It's taking me a little time to get summer stable, at least kind of stable. But we should talk about making that track for you if you're still interested at some point this week.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah. So it really is amazing how busy you stay in this industry. But I believe that when we come back, we have the state of the war for you, and that should be a very interesting session leading into the Eve Talk. Right now in the mix, Pirates will return. Wait, they haven't already? I'm not sure. Turn it up. And this is your State of the War report. And war is a very fun thing when it comes to Eve. How we do war. We've gone from having these really massive battles where it was like 1,000 people on grid to being in a situation where things are a little bit more condensed. I suppose that on one side of things are kind of becoming what the devs originally envisioned, where there'd be small fleet encounters and not quite so many massive fleet battles. I'll be honest, I kind of miss those, but you take what you can get. And so, there are a lot of things going on right now. But first up, my buddy Knox. Dude, welcome to the show. It's been a while since Red Sea has been here. We've had you, Jim Goo, and I think one other member that was here, not including Linwood, because I never counted him as Red Sea anyway. But how are you
Linwood
today?
count?
What?
Good. I'm very good.
All right. So apparently you got some rather fat kills. What happened? I mean, because you weren't at a state of war, but you still got some rather fat kills.
So Boop is definitely Red Sea's favorite frenemy, I would say. We've an interesting relationship. So we decided after, I'm not too sure if everyone's aware that we used to have basically we made a peacetime agreement with Boop for our first little war before the Gen Fed war. And part of that agreement was that they would not expand past a certain limit, because we kind of felt it would tilt the balance, and we ended up kind of in blob warfare, and we didn't really want to do that. So mutual agreement was met, and then what would it have been, I think now? Maybe 2 weeks. Don't quote me on that, but they dropped SOV and KVN, which is one of the main pipes. Previous deal no longer works for us, basically, and they're like, we're not abiding by it. If you attack this structure, it's SOV war. Have fun. So we did what any reasonable crab would do, and we immediately went and blew up their citadel in KVN. And then said, okay, so what now? They didn't say anything. So at that point, we shifted our focus back to Boop. We've been playing Fear for a good while before that, because of the kind of Black War, and they've been really good sports. So then we engaged in Operation Burrowing Crab. So now, in the state of the game these days, is cams are very prevalent, and it makes it very difficult to roam a lot of places effectively, especially since, in Boop's case, in Unicorn, they have a very long pipe. So, I mean, they can see you coming, they have great home defense, they'll put up bubbles all the way down the pipe, slow you down. So, they had one close call with the Aurorical, I think, maybe a week and a bit ago, maybe a bit longer, where I think we took it to about 50% hull. And it just got away by the skin of its teeth. So, after that, they decided to move kind of all of their mining ops into the end of their pipe in DBRNZ, which again is just, it's so far from the edge of their space. It's like, there's no way you're going to catch a Aurorical. Even if you get some tackle there, so you imagine trying to hold tackle on, Oracle with defense fleet with, trying to get 14 jumps down there and people are bubbling and stuff. Like, it's just not going to happen. So,
you have to get creative.
yeah, you got to find a way to work around the system. So for us, we were like, okay, how do we do this? And we're like, well, we can't just fly down there and log off, because they'll be like, well, there's a massive fleet here. So we kind of, battleship by battleship, snuck our way down their pipe and logged off in DBRNZ over a period of, I think, about 48 hours. They saw a few of us. I don't think they knew what our actual numbers were. I think we got roughly about 30 people down there logged off. They knew we probably had, I think, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 battleships or something like that, maybe more. So then we waited. We waited and we waited. Long story short, I think we waited there for over 7 days. I think 8 days was the final tally. Then we got a target. And this was kind of a thing of beauty, actually. I gotta brag a little bit about our Dictor pilots. They are very good. Specifically in this case, part of the difficulty with this kind of operation is this game is 24 hours. If I'm like, ping, hey, let's go, it's go time, there's a target. I need X amount of Dictors or X amount of battleships or X amount of whatever. So it's like, we need to have people that are kind of covering multiple time zones, because you never know when the target's going to show up. So basically our plan is that we would tackle the Roricle inside the belts while simultaneously bubbling their undock, the gate, and their their Sino beacon. So Roricle landed on grid. We went and tackled him, and then immediately started logging everyone in. Our wonderful Dictor pilots started bubbling the Citadel, then bubbling the gate. And then, on top of that, they were warping into the anomaly and bubbling 100 off, so anything that jumped in would get caught in a drag bubble. Thing of beauty. Nothing I don't think landed on grid, except maybe like one Oracle 2 in the entire time that we took us to kill the Oracle. So...
Damn, so proper Crab Team 6 shenanigans.
Much so. I'm working on editing the video from the multiple perspectives, because I think most of our Dictor pilots are recording, so it'll make a pretty cool little thing for people to watch.
How long did the Roricle last?
I wouldn't say more than 3 minutes.
Wow.
It didn't have a siege module on it, though, so I mean, that's a fair amount of tank to lose.
Oh.
I think the red one basically gives you like 2.5 times boost power, and the blue ones gives you like 2 times.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow. Holy cow.
Yeah, so it got mulched pretty quick. I mean, Mega Strikers are scary ships, very scary ships. So
Yep. They're 6,000 DPS without trying too hard, pretty much, right?
yeah, you get a lot higher. A lot higher.
Oh yeah. I know. A friend of mine has a Mega that hits 10k.
Yeah. They're,
Wow.
yeah, they're crazy. They're mini dreads basically. So yeah, we managed to kill the Roricle. We had Matty was there in his DST or his T10 hauler, trying to loot stuff.
I saw Matty on the kill mail with top damage with his APOC striker there.
Yeah, he was doing good work with his striker. Yeah, I think he killed quite a few. I think he killed 3 or 4 miners too. But yeah, so due to the amazing work of our Dictor pilots, we were basically able to warp off to safes and bounce around, and then log off again. Because we're like, well, we're clearly, the undock looked pretty crazy actually. There was a ton of stuff there, so on the Citadel. So we logged off, and we're like, okay, well, wait for this to calm down and get out of here, and then, I don't even know, an hour and a half, 2 hours later, get a ping, hey, there's a carrier ratting in DBRNC, and I was like, there's no way. There's no way there's a carrier ratting in DBRNC. Crab Team 6 assembled. Got someone to log in, scan down, and then got tackle on him, and then we just all logged in and mulched him in probably like a minute, and then the exact same thing and logged off, logged up again. So it was, I think it was like 100 billion. Yeah.
The Rorquals are pretty much the trophy kill right now, right? Like, those things are ridiculous if they're fully kitted out.
To be honest, I think the Rorqual is probably the coolest thing they've added to the game for a good while, because I think the Rorqual adds such an insane value to a corporation or an alliance for a mining fleet that it's like if you're not using one, you're just being silly at this point.
I mean,
But
I kind of agree, but I also disagree. I mean, it would be a little different, and I would feel more strongly about it if the prices of minerals was actually pretty good, but it's still really bad, right? So, yeah, the Rorquals are great and stuff, but I mean, manufacturing is still like 75% ISK, so I have mixed feelings about whether the Rorqual is as, valuable as the price tag.
an interesting thing for us, which we're kind of a weird organization. I say probably compared to most, like our kind of like corporation model or business model, I guess I don't think it's the same, fairly unique, but we actually have more difficulty getting minerals than ISK.
I mean, you guys do have a lot of capitals, but I mean, I mean, it's kind of weird. I just look at the value of like where minerals are and stuff like that, and it's always okay. Can we actually truly outbuild ourselves in terms of, of minerals to ISK? We've done this a few times.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of like, okay, so are we going to build a Rorqual? Of course, build it for our Rorqual pilot. But what's the true value of it if the ore that is being mined just continues to diminish on the market? I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying that they don't fit for certain groups. I'm just that's my one thing about like the Rorqual thinking. Where does it fit? You know what I mean? If the ore values come up, then I'll feel so much better about it.
Sell it for money versus, physically using it to, like I said, we have just like realistically a never-ending demand for minerals.
Very true.
So for us, it works good. But it's, I mean, even if, let's say you don't, it's like, it's not about the money or whatever, just the fact that you can have a Rorqual out, and as a Coveter 2, like, you don't have to dock. Like, you can mine for 2 hours straight and not have to unload your hull. Like, it's amazing in that regard. And you mine faster because of the compression.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty much, that's why it kind of boggled the mind when they decided that they were going to make the Rorqual, like, industry modules. I know that it's supposed to be a big selling point to the Rorqual, and in Eve Echoes it is. But the Rorqual really isn't. It's not alone in that whole thing. Porpoises have medium indie modules. They do compression. Orcas have large industry modules. They do compression. Oracles, by the time you get to the Rorqual, it's just okay. So it's a capital ship. It's a massive capital ship. It's got a ton of tank, and most of the main entities in EVE Online have a use for them, and have specific rules for how to deploy and take care of Rorqual when they're on the battlefield. And in Eve Echoes, it just feels kind of weird because it doesn't really exist that way, right? I mean, the Rorqual is the only ship that can do this. The Orca would have a lot more value to Orca pilots if they had that industry module, but when they brought them over, I guess they decided that they were going to make those industry modules only for the Rorquals, and it's kind of disappointing, but
Yeah.
I think if you could have
Porpoise either.
Yeah. I think the reason you get the Porpoise is because, let's say if the Orca could compress, I don't think anyone would use the Rorqual, because it would just be kind of, you'd be like, a little extra bonus versus risking a capital ship hull versus like 2 bill. And I think that's the same issue with the Porpoise, where it's like, kind of like you were talking about earlier, where it's like, what is the value of an Orca? And it's like, it's not really a mining ship. It's basically, if you can't field a Rorqual, it's the the in between, you know what I mean, or
Well,
high set kind of thing.
what I mean is, for example, I dual box in EO using a Hulk, which is basically a supercharged coveter, uh, and
Yeah.
um, and a porpoise. And it pretty much is that I can mine a ridiculous amount of ore, spit out the ore, and and have the porpoise pick it up and compress it. So I can be out there and mine out like entire belts and never have to dock once. The thing is, there is a value to having those different ships, but the reason why those ships have the values that they have is because there are things that the ships can do to support the fleet as you go up in tier level. So it makes more sense. But many of those things, many of those features that are beneficial, whether you choose to use them or not, don't exist in Eve, such as mobile depots. If they existed, we would have maintenance bays on our carriers, and our carriers would have more use in subcapital deployment in, subcap plus capital ship deployment. There's a lot of stuff included in there and how the balance works. But the balance really isn't there because a lot of features that are a part of EO aren't in EE. I kind of agree with you. If there were large industry modules on Orcas, I mean, there would be people that would, pilot Roracles and stuff. But at the same time, it really is kind of like, it's kind of a moot point, right?
But I guess my thing outside of the, obviously the whether the oracles viable or not, just I enjoy the fact that people fly them, usually in hard to reach places.
And when they
and they're like,
they blow up good.
Yeah, I mean they make for a good content because I guess it's like, there's lots of people I think that are hunting them. I think if you can, get away with using a oracle unaffected and people aren't hunting you, like you're doing pretty good for yourself. But I mean, if you leave that oracle playing a little too fast and loose for too long, someone's gonna come for it. So
Eventually, I mean, Roracles are the things to kill. Obviously, we still kill, carriers and dreads and stuff, and you find them, you kill them. But Roracles are the things that people are hunting. I mean, even in Thomas Roams, sometimes, like, oh, there's a Roracle versus there's a carrier. Okay, well, we took the carrier as a consolation prize because the Roracle docked up.
yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
it can be a little bit funny, but yeah, and, all well and good. I do think that groups should have a Roracle. At least one Roracle is great, and there's always going to be that hardcore indie guy that's going to want to pilot a Roracle, and I think it's fantastic. But to me, I kind of cringe thinking about fielding like 135 billion is kill mail that's just like floating out there. Is as a CEO, I'm cringing every moment that it's out there, and I'm watching cameras and I'm making sure like, okay, but even then, let's be honest with ourselves. Red Sea just proved during the fiasco that if someone really wants to kill something you own, they're going to find a way to kill it regardless of how good your securities and your camera systems and stuff are. They're going to find a way to get to you.
Yeah, I think that's the whole key is that, if you're gonna keep creating creative ways to keep someone out, they're gonna find creative ways to get back in. So
Yeah, and that's kind of sort of the whole of it. But I digress because this. Congratulations on that kill. It really was. That was pretty incredible. And for people who crap so much, you guys are awfully good at killing stuff. So I'm just sharing my observation.
evolving as crabs. It's
Craps with guns.
interesting. Exactly.
Yeah.
Cravolution.
It's the Cravolution.
Exactly.
So, I wasn't able to get Dave on the show on today. I think that he might have been tied up because he's a night worker and stuff. But I know that he's also had a lot on his plate. Wiseful actually made the statement or asked the question in the Sound of Us about Terran Federation and like what the Terran Federation disband. I mean, it pretty much
Yeah.
looks like it. It looks like that's what's
Well-
going on with them.
Well, what happened was there was a disagreement on whether or not TF was Terran Federation was following the agreement that ended the last war with Silent Federation, and so Silent Federation declared war again, and Terran Federation is disbanding, and I'm sure people who are actually in game have noticed that I was in Terran Federation, but I have no alliance right now. So some things are in the works, and everybody will be okay in cash, and we're doing what we can to protect the players. But some people are having to leave, and my understanding is some people are going off to fight Silent because they don't feel that what happened is good or right. But me and my corp will be in cash. So that's pretty much what's going on there. Just a great big old mess.
And it really is disappointing to see so many small groups just getting stomped out of existence. That's probably the most depressing part of that story. Terran Federation, um, granted, we had our history with TF and stuff like that, but over time, I started to see, these are pretty cool guys, and they really do have
Yeah,
a good they had a good mantra about them when they came back around this time. I knew them a little bit during the Pantheon days, and yeah, they did have a few toxic individuals, but then again, I think every organization has at least one, right? But I was really impressed with how they kind of like cleaned things up, and how much more forthcoming they were in showing people the better part of what TF could be. So it was disappointing for me to like hear that Terran Federation was disbanding. Um, I did get a message from David on yesterday, and he was really frustrated. And I mean the reasons why that were given, for the record. The reason why Silent declared war is because it just so happens that David was roaming with J Factor, and that was literally apparently it was a breach of agreement. They didn't shoot any structures, they didn't level any bases, they didn't do anything like that, right? They just roamed. He
yeah,
roamed with
and
a known enemy of Silent Federation, and therefore this was ground for war.
yes, and the thing about it is that the agreement at the end of the war specifically said roaming, as long as it didn't involve hitting structures, was okay. And then, of course, there was also a disagreement upon taking the Citadel that Silent took from Six Med back, because Silent apparently missed the timer where they were supposed to hit the hull timer on 4YO, the Legend Citadel. And when they missed it, TF didn't reset the timetable on taking that Citadel back because that was supposed to be returned. So Silent messing up like that threw the whole timetable off. So there was a mistake and it was a misunderstanding, but Silent decided that that was a bad thing.
Yeah, well, I can't really speak for much in terms of this thing with Silent. I mean, I guess that they're entitled to they're entitled to make the decisions that they make concerning their war declarations, provided that they have the guns to back it up. And at the moment, they do. You know,
They absolutely do. In
they
the
do.
last war, they deployed 225 subs and like 13 caps at one of the whole timers. There was just no way that we over in TF could fight that.
I
So
mean, I don't know a lot of people that can fight it. I mean, I still remember when they blew up the Bell Citadel. They did it in style. I mean, they dropped like 13 capitals on the Citadel. It was a little bit overkill, but I was kind of happy that it was overkill because we had devoted a lot of time to defending Mu when we still lived there. And so it was kind of nice that like if we were gonna fight and we were gonna lose the Citadel, that at least we lost it to capital ships. It was like there was no way we were gonna save that Citadel. When I saw like
yeah,
Terrors and Dreads dropping, it was like, well, that's a wrap, folks. And that was pretty much it. But my condolences to the members of Terran Federation. I hope that you guys rebuild. I hope you don't just like quit the game because that would be really disappointing. Because I mean, it just kind of seems like a trend. Every time organizations, die like that, there's at least a few people that just quit the game because they don't want to start over. Um, Terran Federation was young, so I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, just sad.
Well, anyways, I guess Silent has, I guess, political views, and that's part of the reason why they typically don't come on the show. I've reached out to members of Silent to, hey, look, guys, would you like to come on the show and at least tell your side of the story and what's going on and stuff. And of course, I think everyone that listens to this broadcast knows that we do things pretty unbiasedly. So we would still like to have um, members of Silent Federation come on. Even having more of their high leadership figures come on and just like talk a little bit about their reasoning behind doing stuff and so on and so forth. But I put it like this. I mean, I'm not gonna hold my breath on it because it's really difficult to get Silent members to come on to shows, except Rambo, whom I see in the audience today. Big shout out to Rambo. And by the way, guys, I forgot to mention it during the Content Creator Corner, but I haven't gotten to go to Rambo show for the past 3 weeks. But it has been very, it's very entertaining, and I'm also paying attention to my Discord because I
Yeah.
have Discord pings while I'm doing the show. Of course, things never stop.
My
Yeah.
my understanding is they got a new game show coming too, so
Another one? Oh,
check it out.
holy cow! Wait,
Mhm.
Rambo has a new game show coming up. Oh yeah. I think I'm gonna make a guest appearance over there on on next week. I see that J Factor dropped back in. J Factor, can you hear us?
I can. I'm sorry about that. I'm a truck driver, as I mentioned, and I was in the middle of the desert, so I was without signal for about an hour.
Ah, jeez. Yeah, no problem. We were speaking on the topic of Terran Federation disbanding and stuff like that. I did talk to David yesterday. He was really, distraught. He was pretty upset, and he literally. I told him, you're welcome to come on the show if you would like to talk about the experience and stuff, and just kind of give some perspective on things from your side. And he was like, literally on yesterday, Mackenzie, I don't think you want me on the show not for like a week because he was pretty mad. And I reached out to him today, and I guess that maybe he just, he was a little bit busy. But we do have you here, and I did talk a little bit about that. Apparently, the match that sparked this entire bonfire was it was apparently David roaming with you or something.
A lot of the PHPC guys were coming up and roaming with us. They're all friends, and the agreement never said that they couldn't fly with us still. They just didn't want us in TF. They were looking for content. They came up for roam sometimes. It's not like they were deployed with us. They would just form a fleet and come on up. And I can understand why he's mad. They specifically said to Davis, it would have been fine and they would have overlooked it if it was just PHPC, but because David was there and he was the de facto leader of TF, well, that doesn't look good. So, because of that, their new demand, again, was PHPC can't be part of this new alliance that the TF is splintering off into now. So, it's just finding the next target, to dictate to.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. Really unfortunate.
It is. But, I'm hoping that PHPC is liking the content that we've been having so far up north. They're more than welcome to come on up and join in on our fun. We're doing a lot of damage up there. I think we're near 100 billion in kills in the last week. It's been less less than a week that we've been hunting fully. And we're trying to ramp up. We're trying to get many people that want to come up and join us, come up and have some fun. I know we've seen different organizations roaming up there in their space. And I know that there is a corporation that's leaving them. And I think it's going to be good for the overall health of the game in the end. I mean, just let's spread some of these people out. Let's make the game more manageable.
Yeah. I mean, we had mega blocks in the game, and I think those of us that were a part of the mega blocks saw after it came to an end that maybe it's not so bad to not be in a mega block. And it was the story with Pantheon. I left Pantheon after after it was just Happy Bees and things didn't work out, and went over to Genesis Federation because I wanted to fight and stuff, and have those battles of yonder years. The ones where we had thousands of people. Those battles where we were getting up at 5 a.m., sometimes 4 a.m., and going all the way to ACR space so that we could have this crazy battle and witness Crazy Bull do crazy stuff like yeet a raven into a citadel and hold it there for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so,
those were fun times, man. I mean, it got a little old, right? Like,
yeah.
We don't want to get up at 4 a.m. all the time, It's,
yeah, true. I mean,
it's just it's not as fun anymore. Now we're living up there where we are now, and we log on, and there's content right there. The guys get on and they're able to go kill some things, and they're able to earn a little money while they do it. And I think we had Folsa, and he made over $1 billion in one day the other day. And just by killing SHH, and he's having a great time, and he's not the only one.
Man, oh man. Yeah, sounds like sounds pretty fat. I mean, we happened to find our way into SHH space last week. We happened to go over there, and we weren't like targeting them or anything. We were just roaming through, and boy, StarCats dropped some metal on us. Like, okay, so not necessarily metal. Okay, rust. They dropped a lot of like rusty metal on us, on a total of 9 Nidhogg they dropped on us. It was pretty epic, and it was one of those situations where you go, dang. They rolled out the red carpet. I'm gonna come over to you guys again, get some more content.
Yeah, it's fun, right? I mean,
I like to do that. It's really fun. It's a really fun place to roam.
But they will fight you. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, I've had some times where Jarhead would tell me, like, well, come in something bigger than cruisers and we'll fight you. I'm like, but Silent, go in anything and they'll try to cap you in their system. It's glorious. So shout out to them for at least for bringing pretty good content and never really slinking away from a fight over there in Silent Space, especially in Detroit. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun fights. I hope that some of them have enjoyed it too. I mean, I want it to be fun for both sides in the end.
I agree with you. I mean, we may not agree with one another's political decisions and stances, but I mean, the people in Silent, they are still a part of the greater EVE community, and we have to remember that these are our community members as well, and that we don't want to be in a situation where they're not having fun, because let's be honest, I don't want to see Silent Federation members quit the game any more than I want to see like Terran Federation members quitting the game. Because of what's going on. I can understand, okay, you feel like you want to go somewhere else, you want to try something else. There are plenty of groups that you can go out and just fly with them for a little while. I've been really happy, even though I haven't gotten the chance to exercise it, because, we were all care bearing. The fact that Burr is so open to NPSI and stuff, and especially with No. We are neutral with No, but the respect is there. So it's like we were NPSIing, I think, last night. Dragon Viper was in our space NPSIing, was awesome, and I think that is great. So yeah, I mean, it's just one of those situations where yeah, and oh yeah, No did do a log off trap earlier, and they baited using a revelation. So thumbs up. I don't know what else to say. But the relationship is pretty good with them. And I wish that it were a little bit more universal because it's content. People want content at the end of the day. And if Silent is fleeting up and fighting us, then, great. And StarCast wants to keep on dropping capital ships on us, then also great. And every time we've gone over there, it's not just StarCats. They have been dropping capital ships since Mel was roaming them, trying to get fights in battle.
Yeah, most of the people too. Like most of the people are super respectful. Seen a lot of people that we were in Pantheon with together that made up like, hey, it's been a long time since I've seen you in space. And then we run into just as many that are like, well, why are you guys here? They just don't know what's going on. And we're able to educate them as to why we're there and what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't really understand a whole lot of, I can't say that I understand silent politics, but, I mean, in bigger organizations like that, information does have to be tightly controlled. So I can kind of understand, to a small extent, what Pay to Win, Michael J.D., and some of the others are trying to accomplish, as far as just like not letting people just go out there and run their mouths. But at the same time, guys, come on, just come on down. Like, let us know what's going on over there, and talk about some of the fun fights that we're having and stuff. No one's gonna bite your head off, and I definitely don't want OPSEC information. Trust me, I don't need it. I'm quite good at spying.
It'd be cool if maybe even MJD himself came on. We could have a talk because so much hate from that guy, and like I just honestly feel like he doesn't know me as a person. And we've never talked.
I've talked to Michael J.D. It became a lot easier over time to talk to Mike. It was kind of just weird. It was the way that we kind of, like, I look at the relationship with Michael J.D. is we've always had this weird fruit fight where we're just like chucking fruit at each other. I don't even understand it. Weird scrimmages and stuff like that. I mean, stuff where we met each other on a gate with fleets that we knew were incompatible and decided to fight each other anyway. Times where, he kind of trolls me a little bit on Reddit, and it was all well and good. Times where he came in and he shot my Citadel. Times where I black screened and I listened to him, because I was spying on his comms, hint, hint, and I listened to him like focus fire me off grid while I was black screened, and it sucked. We've had a very interesting history, but I'm glad that we're at least on speaking terms. He will message me, and by the way, on in his very Micro JD way, he did invite Bell to join Silent when we were in between groups after Genesis Federation was over. So I mean, he's an alright fellow. Like I gotta say, I don't agree with everything that he says. There's a lot of water under that bridge, especially coming off of like how things happen after the end of the Pantheon War with Happy Bees. But at least we're on speaking terms. So it'd be great if you two could, maybe get into a room and hash things out, because he's not too bad. He's all right.
Well, I'm sure he's not, but I can't really speak back. I've never had a chance to talk to the guy. I'm not gonna go around and just trash him out in public or anything like that, because I don't know the guy.
Yeah, of course. And Rambo, we have extended, I think both I've invited Mike to the show. Latara has invited Mike to the show. It's just, trying to get him to get some time on his schedule to come onto the show. It's harder to get him on the show than it is to get you on the show. I mean, I always appreciate having the leader of the podcast on the show, and that podcast is on fire right now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm jealous. I want game shows on New Eden FM. My condolences to Terran Federation. But Jay, you do have an alliance who is forward deployed right now in Silent Space, and you are currently taking corporations who want to get more content via Silent. Am I right?
I mean, and not necessarily just because it's Silent, just because they are the largest organization on the game. They do bring instant content. It's a pure PvP alliance, mobile infantry, and we are offering 10% PPK to pilots that want to come out and get some content out there. It's just something. It's a way of passing the buck down to pilots of our organization, and we intend to keep that up for the long term. And we have plans to do so. So if you want to come and PvP with us and just have content, fun content every day, all day, come on out.
Absolutely. But I'm actually just checking out the sound of us and trying to respond a little bit. Yeah, sure, I will reach out to Zim. And if we can't just get Zen on the show, we'll do a segment for Zen, so that we can at least just record the interview and we can check him out anyway. But other than that, if any member of Silent Leadership or anyone at all would like to come onto the show, we're talking FCs, content creators, CEOs, and people that might have interesting stories to tell regarding their time soaring the stars of Infinity in EVE Echoes or even EVE Online. I'm good with that as well. Feel free to reach out to anyone with a host tag and request show placement, because we enjoy having you guys come on the show, and it's always great to meet new people, find out who's flying out there along with us. EVE Echoes is, of course, about to celebrate its, I believe, second anniversary. We celebrated year one last year. This is the second anniversary, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this one works out. I am personally somewhat excited, but I just, I hate complaining about it on the air. I just really feel that the quality of the events has just really been going down over the course of the past few months. So I'm really hoping that this new event is going to be really badass, and we as members of the community can have fun and do some cool stuff during the event. More reasons to fleet out with my corporation mates and stuff and just do stuff. But I guess we'll see how that whole thing works out. But for this week, this has been New Eden FM. Make sure to reach out to us. Hopefully I have this recording up and rolling for you guys within the next 24 to 48 hours has been what I've been doing lately. So, thumbs up on that one. Love, hugs, and kisses. Yes, it is still nude and local. Turn it up for
Boop and local.
Wait, we're booping it? Oh, you have to boop and local because apparently you're.
I am booping in.
You're a boop.
I am booping.
You're
No.
I'm booping in local. There we go.
We've got Vetmune here. It's silence in local.
Silence in local.
Booping
There we
is
go.
illegal in local.
Booping is illegal in local.
No, that's the definition of silence fleet comms. Absolutely silent. Completely dead silent. But yeah, awesome episode, guys. Turn it up. Check it out. We'll see you next week.